Hello there, my bellhops and ball hoops. My name is Whatever You Want It to Be, and I'm here with another fantastic YouTube video for your viewing pleasure. I do apologize about my absence, but I know this video's been long coming. If you do not know what this is Front Office Football 9 by Solsysmic Software, a football sim. The previous episode in this series, which is a basic out-of-the-box tutorial walkthrough, playthrough of how to play this game. If you didn't see the previous episode, it was based around roster construction, setting up the game, and general philosophy of how to start. I have a decent amount of experience in this game, going through a simulation around 100 years, so I want to try to help people play this game the best way possible and that I find the most fun and most intuitive for me, and also makes it not overly complicated to get into. But I will quit yapping and get working into what we were working with today. We in the previous episodes took over the Carolina Hillcats, or the Carolina Panthers as they are known in real life. We are in the NFC South, and we're going to be playing through a full preseason today and a full season, and be doing the off season in the next episode. If you didn't see our roster, that was based in the last episode as well. We'll do a brief overview real quick as well. But if you can look at our current quarterback room, we have Bryce Young and Andy Dalton. Most likely going to have Andy Dalton starting, in comparison to how Bryce Young did this previous year. Um, we may or may not see that progression. We will be going over some more in-depth topics of player stats, how they affect, and what players you can be starting where. Like just because Bryce Young's a 46 doesn't mean that he can't still be a starting quarterback in this league. But we may find a more usable quarterback in the draft in comparison to what the Carolina Panthers did this year and Bryce Young's resurgence. So the game recommends having Andy Dalton starting. It's probably where we're going to have to start. If he starts struggling, we'll probably turn it over to Bryce as they did in real life. If we go to our offensive linemen here, like sorting by position, just so you can get, a general sense of what the line's looking like. So it's the left side of the line, our, centers, right guards, right tackles. Um, we basically have two. One really good in Akeem Ekwonu, and one, like, our tackles are set. Our interior guard's going to be very sketchy, I'm going to say, with our Robert Hunt being 30 overall. Like, again, he can pass block, he has good blocking strength, so he can still start, but our run game is going to be affected because of this. Yeah, that's our offensive line. When it comes to return men, just search by punt returner, kick returner, these two stats here. These are going to be the best guys, even though they're not probably not the best. Like Deontay Johnson was not returning kicks for the Panthers, I don't believe, in real life. But punt returner is the same thing. Adam Thielen would not be returning punts in real life. I actually probably will have Nick Scott returning punts just because I don't want Adam Thielen actually getting hurt. We look at our skill positions here. We have our running backs, Chuba Hubbard, who they just extended this past season. Yes, this is recorded after the previous NFL season, so we'll be using that knowledge to maybe apply it to how we're doing this season. But yeah, Chuba Hubbard's probably the best. Good hold recognition, good strength. Secure the ball, won't fumble that much. He's probably going to be our starting running back, as you can see throughout the composition of our offense. Jonathan Brooks is probably the next most potential guy here with his strength. Just doesn't have hole recognition. Was, as I was talking about last episode, is probably the most important thing when it comes to a running back. Probably goes with hole recognition, elusiveness, which is the ball carrier's ability to avoid tackles. Might result in moving backwards, but that also means that he can avoid tackles, and using speed can break away runs, interceptions, and break tackles. So basically, you want them to find the best hole possible, break tackles, and then break away for speed. That's when it comes to running back evaluation there. So since Brooks doesn't have that hole recognition, even though he has good speed with a 4.55 in the 40-yard, we may be running with Chuba Hubbard for the long term or try to find a one in the draft. Our fullbacks, we don't have one. We're using Jordan Matthews right now because of his blocking strength. You also want to look for a good blitz pickup as well because, that's the ability for a person to make a block on the blitz. So if you're a fullback and they're blitzing right up the A gap, you really want that fullback to pick up that blitz. Um, our tight ends, probably one of the stronger sides of our offense. We have three that can really, maybe even four with Tommy Tremble. Jatavian Sanders, I'm really excited about. He can be a really good offensive based and also blocking tight end, 2 for 1. I really do enjoy that in a player. And also, he's 6'4", 245. That's another thing when it comes to this game. In comparison, like Madden, where like you can have like a dude who's like 400 pounds and like 6'9" or whatever like that if you want to. Height, weight really, and like hand size really matters in this game, and the calculations of how the simulation is able to properly, I don't want to say like effectively make them work, but like you can have rating declines or performance decreases if someone's overweight or the wrong size. Here at the tight ends, I'm really excited about Ja'Tavion Sanders. He'll be our starter. Jordan Matthews will probably be our tight end too, as it already has set up here. Our wide receiver setup, Jonathan Mingo, who they traded in real life, is probably the best receiver in this game out of the box. We'll probably keep him, maybe try to trade and keep him in real life, maybe get some picks. We don't know. Xavier Legette, I wish was, I really like him in real life, but I really wish he was rated higher in this game. He'll probably be our wide receiver too. Thielen, good out of the box, probably can be our standard flankers, so on the Z. And then we'll probably have Deontay Johnson, maybe Xavier Legette in the slot. Probably start with Deontay Johnson because he's known as a route running slot receiver. Had a very he just signed with the Browns actually, I think this past week or whatever. But he had a very tumultuous 2024 season. Hopefully, won't have that in this game. Let's go over the defense real quick. And we'll also be doing a roster trim down as well, so they'll get used to a decent amount of these names. But yeah, we'll go to our defensive ends real quick. Oh, no, we'll go defensive lineman. Defensive lineman will show you your entire defensive line. This can also show you how to like change player positions as well. You see here as the position that they are. So we have Deshaun Williams here, he's a 9, 10, but his actual fit is like a 3-4 DE. And you see with LeBron Ray here, he's a 4-3 DE. We are running a 3-4. So this gentleman right here, even though he doesn't have the best stats, also probably won't fit the best in our offense. Because you can compare these two. He's 6'4", he's 6'1", he's 283, he's 291. So like, while they don't have the best stats to compare, both just from their size, you can tell this guy's better pass rushing. He's bigger. He's probably a little bit more stronger. This guy's a little bit smaller on this side, so he's probably not going to be rushing the passer as much in a 3-4 scheme, where the 3-4 scheme has the rushing mainly being done by the linebackers. You can see here with Taron Jackson, though, he's listed as a right defensive end, but he's only 254, which is very light for a defensive end. Same with Raymond Johnson here. So with Taron Jackson here, I could go here, select action, and change his position to a strong outside linebacker, which if we go back, his fit mostly on the team is a 3-4 strong side linebacker. So we'll change his position here, change his position here. This will change his position. You can do that on defense. And now he will not show up here. He will not show up in our linebackers, which are very deep, and he's probably going to get cut anyways. But you can see right here, Taron Jackson is now a strong side linebacker, and he actually fits on that side, on the 3-4. Yeah, let's go back to our defensive linemen. A lot of these guys are going to be cut. There's a lot less guys being cut on the offensive side compared to the defensive side. But you can see Shy Tuttle, Derek Brown, Sean Robinson are probably going to be our main three defensive starters when it comes to the base 2, base 3, which again, as I went over in the past episode, these are going to be your two starting defensive sets. So you're mainly going to have all your starters in these two columns, and then these are your specialty sets in situations or scenarios that the other team is going to put out in offense. Yeah, so these are going to be our main defensive guys. I think probably Nick Thurman is going to be our like fourth defensive end or fourth defensive lineman. I want to say in our 3-4, and then a lot of these guys are going to be cut because you can see their potential is not very that good, and they are fully developed as a 10, which is not useful in the NFL level. We'll go down to our linebacking core. You can see again, a lot of these guys are going to be cut. He's a 5'7". Yeah, no, that's not going to fly. When we have 67s and 68s and Josie Jewell and Jadeveon Clowney. So since we have so many linebackers, we're mainly probably going to start with a 3-4 defense, because in comparison to our defensive line, we don't have much strength on here. We have maybe 3, wouldn't 4 maybe startable defensive linemen. In comparison to the linebackers, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that can potentially develop into playable players. Not starters, but playable players. So yeah, Jadeveon Clowney is probably going to be our starting one. When it comes to the weak side linebacker here, we'll probably just change his position real quick to a weak side linebacker just for consistency's sake. There we go. Jadeveon Clowney also has potential to play on the line as well. He's 6'5", 266. Like that size alone with this ratings, because again, as I said earlier, like, yeah, size, but these guys that we changed over here, like I think his name's Taron Jackson. His size, he's only 3 inches shorter and 10 pounds lighter than Jadeveon Clowney, but his ratings are so much worse than Jadeveon Clowney that he should not play on the line. He shouldn't be playing football in general, but he also shouldn't be playing on the line in comparison to Jadeveon Clowney. But if we change Jadeveon Clowney here to a defensive left end, he could gain weight, which we can do in the offseason, which I'll show in the next episode. But the position change will be minor and it won't really alter his ratings that much. So we can see here, he actually goes up to a 71 on the line, probably because of his pass rushing strength in comparison to, what he's able to do there. But we'll probably keep him on. Actually, we probably should keep him as a defensive lineman, just as a backup. So this is the versatility you can have here when it comes to your line. So here, we could shift Derek Brown to a defensive nose tackle. And now we have 3 nose tackles, 2 startable, Derek Brown, Shy Tuttle. And now we have 2 startable ends as well when it comes to Jadeveon Clowney and Ashawn Robinson here. So then we go back to our linebacking core. Yes, and we're a little bit more weak on the linebacking core, but now we opened up a starting spot for, say, Trevin Wallace or Marine Barano to get some snaps, and potentially with like Trevin Wallace's volatility, which is high. Volatility is the risk of reward of development. So the risk reward for sudden changes in demonstrated ability. So this means that he could randomly decrease in value or randomly increase in value. We'll discuss this more when it comes to the draft episode, but it's very important when it comes to player evaluation. That's what I'm saying. Like Charles Harris, he's very volatile, but he's pretty much maximally developed because he's 29. He's not going to change. We know what he is as an NFL player. But if we look at Iku Litoya, he has average development, but he's only half developed. So there's a potential there of that he could break out if he has playing time because he has a volatile player trait. That's average. A basic coordinator asks for depth chart. This is sort of like simulating your coaches setting the depth chart for you as a general manager. That's kind of like the perspective of what this game is. You're micromanaging your coaches or your staff, which we can see here. Yeah. So we'll probably just do this real quick. So you can see what the Jadeveon Clowney change we're probably going to do here. And then he will shift onto the line. And then we'll have Shaq Thomas and Barno, as I said, getting more reps there as well. And then we'll probably have like Latoya be our, first guy off the back line. And like our first like special teams linebacker as well. When it comes to the secondary, we are doing a lot. We will actually specialize these down to cornerback and safeties. When it comes to our cornerbacks, you can see again in our 2 main starting sets, we're mainly going to have a left and a right cornerback, and then a nickel cornerback in the base 3, just to cover that third wide receiver, obviously. And then the specialized ones, you're going to only have 2 cornerbacks on short with 1 or 2 wide receivers. On the goal line, you're going to have 2 cornerbacks as well. So for the most part, you want 3 startable cornerbacks who can play at all 3 positions, either left, right, or in the nickel. Right now, we sort of have that with J.C. Horn, Michael Jackson, and Dane Jackson. These are all guys who could theoretically play because of their current ratings. And then we have Chow Smith-Wade, Tariq Castro-Fields, who can maybe develop, even though I don't think these are the actual starting corners for the Panthers. J.C. Horn is basically the main guy. He's going to be starting physical pass defense, great zone defense, great endurance. So he can play reposition, and he can also play, as you can see, every single base set. In comparison to, let's say Troy Hill. If we replace Troy Hill with Michael Jackson here, you can see he can't play every single one. So with the red highlight, this player may tire the expected usage, so he'll have a decreased performance because he's playing too much in comparison to what his endurance is. So you can see his endurance is 12 of 16 in comparison to J.C. Horn, who has 88 endurance. Endurance is the player's ability to maintain top performance play after play, which is particularly important for defensive players, defensive backs, receivers, and running backs. So we're just going to go here. Again, ask the defensive coordinator, who do you want to see out there? They'll see Mike Jackson. If there's someone that you really want to, keep in here, like I don't want Jadeveon Clowney to move from the line, I'll press these little boxes right here. And when we change these things, so say I put Jadeveon Clowney here, and he's always too tired, let's ask him here. It's still going to keep him here and not change the AI recommendation. But we'll let the coordinator handle that there. Our safeties, we have, 3 safeties right here. Nick Scott, Sam Franklin, Jordan Fuller. They're going to be our main starters for this season. I'm going to not really hang on there when it comes to safeties. Other 2 guys, not quite sure. All right, so when we come to that, that's our basic roster overview for this season. I kind of do like a medium vibe of just like simming through and not playing through games manually. And I'll show you how that is. So we're going to start simulate day one and start our preseason. You can see our team playbook right here of what we're going to be running. We'll be running the Smash Mouth from Brad Isaac. That is based on our offensive coordinator right here. So he will handle the playbook because we, in the previous episode, set these decisions here. The AI handles the playbook, AI handles the team game plan, and all of that. So we will not be doing any manual playbook or anything like that in this series because you can just let the AI handle it, and that sort of simulates a control of the offensive coordinator calling plays. So the play calling ability of your will directly affect your ability to, call effective plays in comparison to what his playbook is. We're going to simulate one day. This 1 day simulation will lock in our playbook for the season, which is a Smash Mouth. And you can see that we are mainly running run pass options, then we have 100 passes as well. So we'll see how Andy Dalton and Bryce Young can work within that playbook. So you simulate 1 day, you can see that we can again simulate 6 days. This pencil is your main office. This is where you can be getting updates, where you can be getting messages, news about the season, the current happenings, and also player injuries and holdouts and stuff like that. So we can see the Houston Space Dogs, they are featured in every single training camp TV show. I don't know if that's a glitch, just whatever, but the Houston Texans are always showing it. You can see when it comes to our stadium, our capacity is 74,000. We sold 68,000, so we didn't do bad when it comes to our season ticket sales. Fan purchased Patrick Mahomes' jersey, so he's the most popular player. We'll simulate 6 days to our next exhibition game. When it comes to it, we simulate one more day here, go all the way to the next game. So basically you can see up here that we are simulating to the day before. If we try to simulate one more day, it will not let us because the simulation has stopped because you're about to play a game. You don't have enough quarterbacks active. You don't have the option check to handle minor roster decisions. So because we don't have this clicked right here, AI makes minor roster decisions. We got to do that manually. So because we can see here in the active tab, we need 3 quarterbacks. You can also see here as well, there's an active player limit. The exhibition limit is 60. We have 75. So let's get to trimming the hedges, baby. Basically what you want to do when it comes to cutting players before the preseason starts, because you're going to be signing undrafted free agents and free agents. You're going to be over the player roster limit of 60 in the offseason. Naturally, that's what teams do. They bring players in off-season training camps, undrafted free agents. Sometimes they don't do well in camp and they get cut. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Thomas Income, nice knowing you, buddy. You are getting released. You can basically go through, when you click on a player, contracts, release player. All of these guys with single digit tens, they are not going to make this roster. They are very, very bad. I would say that when it comes to it, 40 to 50 is a decent starting player. These players are also on minimum contracts, no bonus. So this isn't even costing us money. This is just freeing up cap space for us. So like Felipe Franks, gosh, he's actually carved out a pretty decent career in real life, but here it's not going to work. We will get into like contract discussions in the off-season episode, I think. But when it comes to it, you should think about the salary that you're seeing over here is the amount that affects the cap room for you, and the bonus is the guaranteed money that they're going to get regardless. So when we release the player here, you sort of might have been able to see, if you release this player, you'll save $990,000 on the cost in the season. This reduced your cap salary figure by $990,000, and his contract will count $0 against this year's cap because he has no guaranteed money. So he only gets this amount of money prorated week by week. So we can release him here for no penalty. But let's go to Ikem Kwanu, for example, our first round pick. He has $4 million in guaranteed money on a $3 million base salary. So his cap cost against the total cap is these two numbers added together, $7.5 million. And if we try to release him, which would be very dumb because he's very good, you will save $3 million, but then we'll also incur a penalty of $4 million. So this will basically be a penalty on our cap of dead money for around $900,000. So we're not going to do that because that's not smart. In comparison to Austin Corbett, like this is an interesting discussion here. So he is making $6 million with a $3 million bonus. So his overall cap cost is $10 million. So if we cut him, we're going to save about $3 million. We could also extend him, though, give him some more guaranteed money, making it even harder to cut him at a lower base salary, which will then reduce his cap cost to $7 million. So we'll then save that $3 million in a different way by extending him, and then we can theoretically cut him the year after on a $4 million cap cost. So it's kind of like I don't, this game doesn't have like void years, but you can sort of think of it like that of how to save cap room. I think we're just going to cut him anyways because he's 16 and 19, and if he is starting with zero blocking strength and zero run block, we're kind of in the pits. So, but that's something that we might do in the future when it comes to guys on very expensive salaries, but not very expensive guarantees. So, like when it comes to this game, Lamar Jackson, I wish that was quarterback. In this game, there is inflation, so you can get very expensive quarterback salaries. You can get very expensive receiver contracts. So when guys in like super big, large contracts with not much guaranteed money, they sometimes will take a smaller salary for more guaranteed money as in real life because of how the NFL is set up. They don't have fully guaranteed contracts. Not everyone's Deshaun Watson with a fully guaranteed contract. They're based on the salary bonus plus the salary. That gets your full cap cost right there for you. So if we release John Radigan, that will get us down, and I want to keep Blackshear just in case. You can also sort by position as well, not just here, to get an overall idea of your roster size. So you just have a general idea. You need at least like five wide receivers. You can go to depth chart here, go to active, and you can get these sort of idea of what you need and what's required. So you can see here, like we have a lot of tackles. We can probably cut a tackle. But we are kind of tight on wide receivers. We can maybe shed off a tight end. We have, one too many running backs. We have a lot of defensive ends. We can maybe get rid of one of those. So you can see here a lot of bad defensive ends. So now we're at 59, and the reason we're doing that because you might have seen that in the previous thing here. We need another quarterback, or else the sim's not going to be able to go forward. Because as you can see with the roster depth chart, we are under that 60 player limit. So there's no, we're under the 60 player limit. So there's no more inability to sim forward like this. However, since we don't have enough quarterbacks active, it's not going to let us sim regardless. So we're going to go to manage over find player. We're going to go to quarterback right here. And then usually, you can scout. I want to see if there's any rookies, any undrafted free agents, anything like that. If you want to see a player with more experience, here. I mean, it's like Ryan Tannehill, in comparison. And this is the salary they're going to want. So let's just do this. I think I'm just going to want to sort by future value. We already have Andy Dalton and Bryce Young, so we don't really need Jason Bean here. He's undrafted. I think he's on the Colts right now. Yeah, I think he is. I think he might be in the UFL. But we'll sign him for no guaranteed money, but this will allow us to hit our roster. So you can see here we have $57 million in cap. By signing him to this contract, that will reduce our cap by $800,000. So we'll make that offer there. But then let's just say, oh, wow, Jason Bean doesn't work anymore. We release him here. 800,000, boom, boom. Go back. We're not going to be able to sign Jason Bean because he's going to be mad. So we can just go right over here to Ian Book. Actually, no, I want Keaton Slovis. We'll just get Keaton Slovis contract there. Our cap room's back up with no penalty. So if we gave him a guaranteed amount of money, which we don't need to, so let's give $10,000 to Ian Book here. You can see our cap room goes down by $808,000. Make this offer. Boom. He's now on our team. We release him. $10,000. Let's get Ian Book on here. You can see that 10 grand is now missing from our cap room because we paid Keaton Slovis 10 grand to make an example. But here we go. We'll get Ian Book. He's good footwork. We'll go over this in draft evaluations in the next episode of how to actually evaluate a player when it comes to either drafting or signing them as a free agent. But yeah, let's get into the preseason now. Now that we have a full roster, we should have a fully set depth chart when it comes to it as well. If you have any sort of issue, when in doubt, coordinate it out. Ask the coordinator for the depth chart, and he'll set it out. They want to do Bryce Young, I think, for the preseason, which makes sense. Get him some reps in the preseason. See how him and Andy Dalton compare. Let's see. Let's just do a coordinator ask here. It's going to have all that set there for the preseason. Defense, coordinator ask there. When it works, that all works for me. Special teams. I don't really, go really in depth when it comes to it. Like if guys don't really make sense, like Jadeveon Clowney, we don't need him doing special teams, even though he has a good rating to it. Usually you can just ask the coordinators as well when it comes to it as well. Yeah, there we go. All of that should be set. So we go back again to pencil, can simulate 1 day, and that will let us advance. So you can see that we are now able to play this game. You can go to schedule. Since this is a preseason game, we can see our exhibition games here. So if we click this button right here, because it won't show up on the overall team overview because this is our regular season, not our exhibition season. So we go back to here, press there. We lost that game, unfortunately. We can go to the game book here. So if you want to see how your team did, you can go again here to the pencil, schedule, game book, and this will show you the overall of how your team did. You can basically get a scoring overview. Saw Joey Sly hit a decent amount of field goals. Panero hit field goals. That's good. You can get overall really in-depth team stats. Would love to see Madden never do this. You can get drive-by-drive charts on what happened. The game flow. We did not have a shot, which I surmise would be in real life. You can get overall player stats when it comes to it. Andy Dalton, 11 for 21. Yikes. Bryce Young's 5 for 7 with a pick. That's not encouraging, but hey, David Moore, way to go. This is also very slow in comparison to what I usually do. I usually just burn through the preseason, but this is more for just example based. So after you play a game and you're on Monday now, you want to go to your team overview and check and see if you have any injuries. You will also get a news down here if it's a very significant injury. The player might need surgery or they may not need surgery. If they don't need surgery, there'll be a quicker turnaround time for the player to come back. If they do require surgery, they are going to be out for a longer period of time, obviously. So Travis Homer here tore his ACL, which could be a career ender, but it's only going to be out for 22 weeks because he did not need surgery. You can check medical transactions here to show, I guess career may be in doubt, but if he had no surgery, and maybe even more unlikely he comes back. But yeah, it's a very serious injury for Travis Homer. RIP, my boy. We also did see Adam Thielen got hurt, so maybe shouldn't have had him do special teams. We'll see how bad that is. He's only out for 4 weeks, so we'll probably just deactivate him and just have another wide receiver take a spot on the roster. Raymond Johnson is questionable. We should also talk about questionable versus probable versus doubtful. I don't think those are the official classifications of the NFL now, but basically, if a person is probable, they're most likely going to play on the roster. If they're questionable, they may start, but then they may get replaced by a injury replacement halfway through the game, and they will not play well. You can also check when it comes to the medical transactions on how they are going to perform if they do play and their re-injury risk. It's like a sprained thumb for a defensive end. It's not like he tweaked his knee. He's still gonna be able to run. He's still gonna have pass rush. You club that hand up, he'll be fine, and he might probably it's not gonna re-injure it. But say with Adam Thielen, he sprained his elbow ligament. He may not re-injure it, but he shouldn't be playing with a sprained elbow ligament as a wide receiver. And then when he comes back, he may be doubtful because doubtful players aren't gonna play. But if you really need in the pinch, they could be rostered. So they're not gonna stop the simulation, but they should not be playing because they will have a high re-injury risk. So let's continue simming through. But I like keeping on the team stats page here so you can get an overall assessment as the season's going on. So you can see here, I wanted this to happen. The simulation stopped because Adam Thielen is on our active roster, but he's been ruled out with an injury. So how do you deal with this? We could put him on the IR, which we don't really want to do because he's only out for 3 weeks. The IR requires a player to be out for 4 weeks at a minimum, and you only have 8 reactivations. So you can so say you get decimated by injuries, you can't just keep throwing players on the IR to get roster spots and expect them to come back. You only have 8 reactivations when it comes to a player being put on an IR. So we probably don't want to put Adam Thielen on the IR for such a short-term injury. So we'll just go over to roster here. We can see that players who are injured are highlighted in red. So Adam Thielen, also you can see that he decreased in ratings after the preseason. We'll get into that in just a second. We can deactivate him here by right-clicking, and we can see that our active players went down by 1. So we went from 60 to 59 right here. And then also ticks up our inactive players. That also affects our ability to depth chart. So we go down here to active players. We have 4 wide receivers active. So we're still going to be able to roster or play with this roster, but we are now at the limit when it comes to wide receivers. So if you're observant, you may ask, oh, what can we do when it comes to our skill position? Don't you have 005? That needs 5 wide receivers and you only have 4. Yes, that is true. However, you can also throw running backs in here as well if you want to. So Miles Sanders can play the Z. I don't know if you've ever seen some football concepts where they have the like outback motion out of the backfield onto the line. That can sort of be the idea behind it. So you probably want the person with the best catching rating and the best route running when it comes to your running backs, and that would be Miles Sanders that we'll put here. And I assume if we hit the depth chart, that's probably what they're going to recommend as well. Actually, they have Jonathan Brooks there. I disagree with the AI here. And I'm going to put Miles Sanders here. Because we can go to the strategy and look at our O5 playbook, which I wasn't able to show last time. The V, which is where Miles Sanders will be, is just a short out route to the outside. So again, we go here. You can see the V is just short out. That's a natural place for a running back to be. And I would say Miles Sanders is probably the best at that when it comes to his catching and his route running abilities. Cool. So now we are still, below the 60-man roster size that we need for the exhibition limit, but we can just deactivate Adam Thielen, and it will now let us go to Sunday. There you go. So now we can play it again. Go back to schedule. Ooh, look, we did really well. 41 to 21. Go to the game book. You can see Wilson, Aaron Rodgers still alive, and it looks like Andy Dalton was the one who really was. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Three touchdowns for Andy Dalton. That was a really good game out of Andy Dalton. Too bad it does not count. So he will. As you can see, we have more players who were added to the injury list. Thielen is now questionable, so that means Thielen can now play. So we can just reactivate Thielen, even though he is red. Get him back in here. Go to depth chart. Go to skill. Ask coordinators for that depth chart. Boom. That replaced Miles Sanders right here. If you saw, I'm feeling, I believe, also hardcore regressed as well. I think he lost like 20 points. You can check. I can actually check and tell. Before training camp 2024, he was a 40 overall. Or, yeah, up to a 40 all. Now he's slowly regressed to a 32 overall. He's got better special teams, but worse at everything else, which makes sense because he's 34. So, probably not going to be the best, even though he actually had a pretty decent season this past year. We still have a final remaining exhibition game to play against Buffalo. So can't because Joshua Nijman is on our active roster and injured. So he's on for 10 weeks here. That makes sense to put on the IR. So we will do this. Again, you can go to select an action, put player on injured reserve. And yes, we'd like to continue. That also frees up a roster spot for us. So you can see here, we didn't do anything. We didn't right click. We didn't left click, anything like that. But Nijman is deactivated here, and he's on the reserve roster. So that means that we can now sign a player and take his roster spot here, so which we probably want to do because he was going to be our backup tackle. These two guys are probably going to get cut. So we'll go to manage again. Manage where you're going to be getting players, acquiring players, finding players. Duke Schaefer. I don't know if you're even real. You might not be a real player, but he has maybe potential, low volatility, so he may or may not develop. Welcome to the team. You're probably going to be our offensive tackle 3. You can see since Nijman was not a starter, he did not affect our ability to sim forward on the offensive line because he was not changed there. We lost, unfortunately. That's probably going to be a habit this season of 16 to 22. Do player stats. Andy Dalton, Bryce Young. Andy Dalton did better than Bryce Young. I mean, Andy Dalton also got the majority of the snaps as well. Yeah, David Moore didn't do bad this season too. He's probably going to be our Adam Thielen replacement now that Adam Thielen's regressed. And then I like simming all the way up in prep day because the simulation will stop because you have too many players on your roster. We will now talk about setting your active season roster. There is now going to be again on your depth charts active limit a season limit of 47 players. This is true. This is also not true. It is true that you need 47 active players, but you can have 53 rostered players. So right now we have 61, technically 60, because Nijman is on the IR. So we now need to cut down to 53 active players, and then we need to actively deactivate players down to 47 by Jamie, well, we can also sort. I usually recommend sorting at the end of the preseason after game three. You will basically have finalized development. So let's create in Crumley. Might be a little bit better example. You can see before training camp, he was at a 23 of 34. It is now after training camp or after the preseason. He's now at 21 and 28. So now we have a better evaluation of who he is as a player after he's gone through preseason and offseason training camp, offseason weight training, and such. Um, yeah, so he's very volatile, but he is getting more developed. So he most likely is not worth this keep on this team anymore. So Brandon Bolton will be cut because again, we don't need him on an unguaranteed contract anyways. Brady Christensen, don't need him anymore. Slowly whittling our way down. Kenny Dyson, he regressed pretty bad, looks like. Let's just say tight ends, Messiah Swinton. Don't need him, unfortunately. Sheen Blackshear, he's probably gonna get cut, all said and done. Oh, I said the quote. Just need to cut one more player. It looks like Troy Hill is probably going to be the casualty there. He's 33, $1.2 million. Don't need to. At a 22, he's not going to develop. He's not going to be on this team that well. So you can see we're now at 53 players overall. You can see now we're still not going to be able to sim forward because we have too many players on our active roster. So that means that we're going to have to deactivate some players. Deactivating players is again done by right-clicking. So Lonnie Johnson here. And again, sorry for yapping, but I just want to go over everything when it comes to roster construction, how to actually get this game to sim forward. Because I had a really big problem getting this game to sim forward when I didn't realize how roster construction worked in this game. Yeah, but we can see the DJs probably are not going to be starting, so we're probably going to put both of them deactive. That gets us down to 50 players. Jaden Crumley. But we'll keep Nick Thurman on the roster just in case. Man, our second line defensive line is not good, to say the least. Our kicker and punter situation also is not that good. Yikes. We'll probably deactivate Tommy Tremble. Only need one more player down, so we'll probably deactivate Jamie Robinson here as the lowest player on. So, oh wait, no, we'll deactivate Shermer Block. We'll deactivate him and then turn him into a cornerback. Yeah, and that boosted his ratings a little bit. So you sometimes gonna have like guys who are like low rating like this, and you can sometimes see like he's 300 pounds as a defensive end. He can maybe be a defensive tackle, you know. That boosts his ratings a little bit. You can see we're at 47 players, all said and done. Our depth chart probably got a little bit affected by that, but you can always sim forward, and it will automatically. Oh, JC Horn's hurt. I didn't realize that. He probably got hurt after game three. Yes, he did. Oh, he is out for the season. Oopsies. Oh, that's bad. He tore his foot ligament. So you can see he had to get surgery, so he's out for the season. If he did need to get surgery, he may have potentially been able to come back later in the season. Maybe it would have been like a 12-week injury instead of a. I hope his career's not in doubt. That's like our first round cornerback. Jeez. Oh, it sucks. Um, yeah, so we're gonna put him on injured reserve. Oh, this guy might have potential here. Yeah, let's give it a shot. I don't think he's a real player. When the season actually starts, so after post preseason, you can't offer multi-year deals to free agents anymore. It's only 1 year deals only, and then you can theoretically extend them after the season's ended. You can't extend them again in season because you can only offer one player a signable contract a year. I believe, when they're already on your team. So we'll make this offer, for example, to David Barnett. I would love to have him longer if he fully gets to a 61 development. I can't because I've already signed this player for the season. We're going to have Mike Jackson, Tariq Castro Fields, and then Dane Jackson be our main starting cornerbacks. Oh, we are so screwed. All right, well, it's the day before the game. Oh, my Lord. We are not going to do well. You can see, if you want some basic overview of what your starters look, probably going to have Andy Dalton start, and if Andy Dalton struggles, we'll just throw Bryce Young to the Wolves. Because Andy Dalton right now is just a better starter off strength. Like, he can make medium, he just can't throw far, but he reads the defense well. Bryce Young has a better arm. He reads the defense the same, so we might add him in a little bit more. So we'll see how this season goes. Again, I'm not expecting good things. This is more supposed to be an example, walkthrough, playthrough tutorial, and we'll go on to the next game. Oh, my depth chart's not fully filled in. So if you ever face this sort of issue, of like your depth chart not filling in, we can always just click depth charts here, depth charts here, depth chart here, and then that'll allow you to move the game forward. So week one, when we're facing New Orleans, again, you can always click the preview here. you'll be able to get a comparison on kind of a push when it comes to our quarterback, running backs, receivers, but they have better offensive line, D-line. Dude, if we win this game, because based on our defense, will be great. You can also are the home team, so they're home, we're away. So this is their overall starting lineup. They have Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill as a fullback, Juwan Johnson. You get their overall look. You can see who's out: Nathan Shepard, Landon Young. And compare that to us. So when it comes to me, like simming through the season, I like staying on this team preview page. Sometimes checking in here if players need surgery on their injuries. And also sometimes you will get trades down here as well. Rarely. You can also check up here as well. This little hot box, I like to call it, will give you cursory information on what you might need to know. You can also hit analyze opponent here. That'll get you down to their tendencies. Again, obviously we haven't played a game yet, so it's not really useful because they haven't done anything. So we'll get into that in the future. So again, you click this box right here. That will simulate 1 day. You can also hit game and play the game as well if you want to. We're not going to be doing that until we move to the playoffs or if people find interest in it. It's literally just you just sit and watch boxes move across the screen. All right, there we go. We lost 21-35. Andy Dalton had 218 pass yards, 2 touchdowns. That's why I like being on this screen because you get an overall, statistical breakdown without having to go to the little thing here, statistics, go here, filter down to quarterback, go to the Carolina Hellcats. Now I found it all here. When I can just go to pencil, team overview. Here's my statistics. Here's Andy Dalton. I can see what he did, which was throw 2 touchdowns and still lose. So we can see Ian Thomas unfortunately got hurt for 3 weeks. Probably doesn't need to an IR, but that's why we have Tommy Tremble in the wings. So we can just deactivate Ian Thomas. Again, we should keep an eye on Josh Nyman, still out for 9 weeks, so he'll probably return this season. So we will see. We have decent linebacker depth, decent cornerback depth. We could maybe theoretically change him and one of these guys into a defensive lineman if one of them get hurt, or if Raymond Johnson can't come back equitably. Ian Thomas is out, so again, Saturday it's not going to let us go forward. Going to go to skill. Again, just ask the coordinator for depth chart, or again, you can set it manually yourself, so like Ja'Tavion Sanders. I probably want him starting a little bit more. And then I probably want to lock Ja'Tavion Sanders because I want him starting. Even though Ian Thomas might be better rated, Ja'Tavion Sanders has a better potential. So I would want him to be playing more, especially as an offensive focused tight end as well. Oh, depth chart's not fully filled in. So I might just miss something on offense or defense. Again, if you ever face a situation, when in doubt, coordinate it out. That's my personal opinion when it comes to it. Sunday, Los Angeles Lightning, or the Chargers, as they are known in real life. We win 17-19. Again, if you don't want to go to schedule and do this whole playbook thing, you can just click on the game. That'll also take you right there as well. Ja'Tavion Sanders, let's go. That's a touchdown from Andy Dalton. So that shows that was a good playmaking move, moving him into the starting full tight end. Andy Dalton was meh, I would say, but he still got the job done. Our run game was yuck. These guys are. Oh, our receiving game. I'm blind as heck. Not, run game was fine. Our receiving game was not that good. Jeez, I misspoke. Looks like Jordan Fuller got hurt for 4 weeks, so that's fantastic. So we'll actually probably put on Bartholomew, change him to a free safety. We shouldn't forget Thomas. Only 2 more weeks on that. A big thing that happens too is sometimes there's not like a reminder when players get uninjured. You kind of have to just keep in the back of your mind. So like Ian Thomas is in 2 weeks. He's deactivated on the roster. We should make sure that we reactivate him when he gets uninjured because they're not going to tell us when he gets uninjured until he is removed from that injury list. So like always keep an eye on who's injured and how long they're injured because there's guys you can make progress as well, or maybe change from out to them probable, where they can then play for you if you really need them in a pinch. Can't move forward because Jordan Fuller is on our depth chart, but again, by simming like that, that removes him automatically rather than have to like, pull him off. I really don't agree with Castro Field starting that much because he's already not the best when it comes to there. Let's get David Barnett some starting reps there and in the nickel here as well, and we'll control that there because I don't think he's been playing or starting that much. He has not been, so let's get him some reps, and then maybe that undrafted free agent can maybe make a name for himself, maybe be a little Beanie Bishop for us. We'll see. And we win 6-3. That's a sicko mode game right there for you, Pinero. 30 overall kicker. Putting in work. Andy Dalton keeping things alive. You can see more injuries are piling up for us, but Ian Thomas is still out on week 2. David Barnett is hurt. Oh, great. He's out for only a week, so that's actually not that bad. So we can just swap Lonnie Johnson and David Barnett. Unfortunately, that is going to remove him. So you can see what I mean here. When I try to move forward, it's going to automatically remove David Barnett from our lineup. There we go. Let's put Chow Smith Wade. Just the same sort of mentality. And then Lonnie Johnson will slot in as a special teams. Let's move forward. We lost, got absolutely blown out, and looks like Andy Dalton got personally benched. Logan Woods, what the? Is Joe Burrow hurt? What's going on? I gotta check that out real quick. I apologize. Why is Logan Woodside starting for them? Okay, Joe Burrow is hurt. Oh, for the season. Ooh, yikes. Torn MCL in his knee. Jeez. So if you ever want to know injury transactions or transactions like that, you can go up to League right here. Go to reports, sorry, event logs, injury log. That will show you every injury for every team. Also search for your team as well. So Carolina Hellcats, you can see the injuries that we've had. Oh, RIP. How do you how do you hate Andy Dalton and Thielen? Come on, man. You can see it. Yep. JC Horn. He originally got hurt in the first. He had to get evaluated, and it was determined after a second evaluation that he needed surgery. So that's great. You can also do a transaction log here, so that'll show you, teams that have been signed, players that have retired, players that have been released. So, R.I.P. Joe Burrow. That sucks for you. R.I.P. Joe Shiesty. But yeah, it looks like Andy Dalton got benched for Bryce Young, and then Bryce Young was okay. So we're only 2-2. I mean, in the the friggin' Falcons are 4-0, and they're demolishing teams. Ian Thomas is still hurt. Jeez, that's really unfortunate. We'll get past, once you get past Thursday, that's when you get past medical evaluations for your teams. So that's when their prognosis will change from probable to playing. So, David Barnett, maybe. Maybe he might move up to probable after Wednesday. Yep, you can see he left. So after Thursday, or on Thursday, he is now no longer injured, and we can activate him here. We can also see, I think Ian Thomas is now doubtful, no longer out. So I think we're going to keep Tommy Tremble. I think I don't want him to re-injure himself. And I don't think that, and doubtful players aren't going to play anyways. And he could really, really re-hurt himself. So we probably don't want him to play just for that out chance. But we should deactivate Lonnie Johnson and reinsert David Barnett for Chow Smith Wade here. And then I want him there as well. Yeah, we'll see. No problems there. Josie Jewell, Charles Harris is still questionable. Deontay Johnson's questionable. Ooh, that's. Oh, he strained his freaking hamstring. Are you kidding me? So hamstring injuries are very much a pain as they are in real life because they can still play, but they're gonna re-injure themselves. And for 7 weeks, he's really risking a long-term injury. I mean, I might just replace him with David Moore. To be honest, I mean David Moore's not good. Deontay Johnson's a little bit better. I mean, with David Moore's not really a route running guy too. Whatever. I mean, Deontay Johnson. No, we're gonna replace Deontay Johnson with Xavier Legette here again. And this is what I think in future episodes we're gonna look at a little bit more of taking the aegis away from the AI and doing it yourself. You know, um, because if we ask the AI here, they're probably gonna still have Deontay Johnson playing throughout this season with a hamstring strain, which I don't want them to do because he's probably going to get hurt and just going to be out for the season, where he can maybe still be a contributor on this team in other aspects in a lesser role. And he's already still not doing too hot anyways. It's only 70 yards with 15 targets. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not the best. So we'll probably move him down to the S where Adam Thielen was and have mainly David Moore, in the slot. like they were. We lost again. Andy Dalton, 1-0. Nah, not terrible, not bad, not great. Go back to the roster. Remember, Ian Thomas is no longer hurt. Go back to Tommy Tremble. We will just deactivate him. Again, we'll go to depth charts, go to skill. Again, since we have Leggett locked in here, he shouldn't change when we do the depth chart. And then we'll mainly put Ian Thomas back in here. And Jatavian Sanders is still in our starting roster as well. So again, that's what I like doing too. Again, I hope this is just reinforcement of like, I like, letting the coordinators do what they want. But if I have guys I really want starting, I'll just lock them in. Jatavian Sanders, he should be starting as our tight end. Even though, yes, Ian Thomas might be better right now, Jatavian Sanders in this rebuilding form, we need to get him snaps. We need him to play. And he's been rewarding us by being one of our top receivers. Ergo. So there we go. Still Chuba Hubbard. Miles Sanders is actually having a pretty decent season. It looks 4.4 rushing per carry. Jeez, if you could do that in real life. Chuba Hubbard's averaging 5. That's great. I mean, it's kind of what they're known for in real life, too. I mean, Chuba Hubbard's a dog. I love that guy in real life. We won 31-24. Let's ride. Player stats. That was mainly Miles Sanders day, but Andy Dalton, 405 yards on 46 attempts and 3 touchdowns. Xavier Leggett, my boy. Okay, with 16 targets, 13 catches, 154 yards, and a tutty. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I hope this is reinforcing. You can make your own decisions, and sometimes your own decisions can be better than the AI. It's good to have the AI set you as a baseline, but then you make your own decisions and work around that as well. So, like David Barnett, tackles, hopefully he's doing pretty well. He's got an 84 pass defense percentage, which is pretty anything above 80 is close to elite. Not close to elite, really good. We can see Jadeveon Clowney. We made that choice. He already has 6 sacks on the line, which is crazy. That's super good. And as you keep playing, you make those sort of recognizations on what players do well. Like Jadeveon Clowney, yes, he's a little bit. Can he play? Can he play? But his pass run strength is just so good that he can get a sack per game. Will you sustain that? Who knows? We'll see. We'll keep on going. Here, again, let's do a little base to make sure that we have nobody who's injured that we should be playing. Like, again, I caught myself. Jordan Fuller is no longer hurt, and he should definitely be playing over Sam Franklin and Sam Bartholomew. So we'll go here, go to defense, have the defense set that up. They again shifted it up too. Sometimes I like shifting it up too, letting the different players get starting ups too, what the defense coordinator recommends. Because sometimes players just have bad seasons, just can't be getting stuff done. Like Josie Duel, Danny's actually doing pretty well. But like sometimes, with Charles Harris got a little more reps in starting here. I want to get him a little bit more reps, see if he can maybe become something, as we said. But he's doing pretty well in reserve. He's a tackle for loss and only 2 starts. We can maybe get him a little more reps there. We will continue to Sunday. We got blown out. Absolutely fantastic. We love to see it. Got Bryce Young in there. They basically did the same. Jeff Driscoll, what is going on? What? Hold up. Okay, how long is he out? He's out for the season too. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. Jeff Driscoll, Logan Woodside. What other cameos are we gonna see? You can also see we're getting a little bit close to the trading deadline. We'll talk about that after this game. We can see here anybody out who's out that we need back. Joshua Nyman is still probable 2 weeks out though. Damian Lewis got hurt. Deontay Johnson, he's like barely even playing right now. Which means trading deadline. Might do a little real life. We again lose. We are 3-5. Oh yeah. Andy Dalton still did well. 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. I mean, he's really not been the problem. I mean, 87.5 rate is not bad. You can see over here, we just don't have an effective run game. Just don't have an effective passing game. We're not running the ball well. We're passing okay. But our defense isn't really doing us any favors. Jadeveon Clowney's doing great, but not doing well. So I think we maybe need to make some moves and just fully embrace the rebuild. And we will do that through manage. You can see we're the trade deadline, which comes right after week 8. I believe it comes right after. So you go to Advantage right here, go to Trade HQ. Trades are very interesting in this game. Rather than just like, being able to set up your own custom trades, like if I want to Keldon Beachum, I can't put Andy Dalton in there. You can only receive offers of what they're willing to pay for it. So I think a person we might try to trade, we can't trade DeAndre Johnson. Maybe Jonathan Mingo, though, like they did in real life. Jonathan Mingo, I believe, got a second round pick from Dallas. Where when it comes to Denver, they'll give us a second round pick and want to do a pick swap. I don't think I want to do that. Maybe because we're probably going to have a pretty high third round pick. Like that right there. So we can get a second round pick for just a sixth and Mingo. Do we do that? I mean, we could do that. I really want to trade Deontay Johnson, but I don't think we can trade Deontay Johnson because Deontay Johnson is hurt. Why can't we trade Deontay Johnson, actually? That's weird. Maybe because we signed him this season, technically, so you wouldn't be able to trade him or like that's how the game organize that. So when it comes to trading deadline, you probably want to sort by players who are in expiring contracts. So like Derek Brown, we can maybe get like a first round pick for him if anybody wants to give up Atlanta. Yeah, we can get a first round pick. We might just do that and just embrace the freaking tank, man. Atlanta, but and that's the problem is that you don't want to give it to Atlanta though because they're in your division. Derek Brown's an absolute dog. Seventh round to Baltimore. Baltimore's also probably doing pretty well this season. We can actually check and see who's doing pretty well this season. Not us. Does Arizona or the Guardians or the Giants maybe want them? Come on, Arizona, give me your first. I think we might try to finesse this. See if that might become a first round pick. So we'll take a first round pick for Derek Brown. You'd be like, why? He's on a big thing. He can make sign to a big contract. It's like, he's not going to save us. He's not going to save us, this franchise. So we'll take a first round pick there for Derek Brown. The trading deadline, cool. They probably would never do that in real life. But again, when it comes to the trading deadline on expiring contracts, we still have the depth to theoretically replace him here. Trading Crumley. And we're just going to embrace that tank. If we got Crumley in there, he can maybe get some pass runs. And this might really, he's abundant season rust. Again, if players don't play throughout the season, they probably are going to get a little rusty. We were able to get a first round pick. Now we have Arizona's first round pick. I don't think anybody's really going to want anybody. Maybe Sam Franklin, one of our depth safeties, we can maybe get a couple picks for. A third round pick swap and a seventh rounder. I mean, no, I don't think we really need to do this when it comes to it. Yeah, this is just the overview, just like show you what trading is. It's a basically pick for player or player for pick sometimes, or just picks for picks. So if I wanted their first round pick, I had to give up Arizona's first round pick and then more picks for theirs. You can't really do like a player for player. I really wish you could, but you can't. But there is a really easy to use trade finder here to figure out who people have interest for and who you want to trade for. But yeah, I think Derek Brown was the only person who really that I had an idea about trading, or Deontay Johnson if I was able to, but it looks like we were not able to. So yeah, that's pretty much our trading deadline. We just got a first round pick, and hopefully when it comes to it, that first round pick can maybe be the first overall pick if Arizona keeps on losing. But yeah, Derek Brown is not going to save this defense. Is not going to save our season. Going through, we win against New Orleans. We have a lot of questionable guys. I saw a lot of guys playing at, fairly high, but always essentially getting injured. Again, questionable guys can play. They're not going to stop your sim. Doubtful guys will not play, but they won't stop your swim. Probable guys are most likely going to play, and they won't stop the sim anyways. Diamond's off of the IR, but Duke Schaefer has played 7 plays, so I think I'm just gonna keep Nyman on the IR for the rest of the season. We got some injured guys here. I don't know if I want to get Bonham or Johnson any snaps. No, we'll just continue through. We'll get up to our bye week, and see how everything. Oh, we're winning through there. Who knew trading Derek Brown would be a great idea? We'll get to our bye week now. Again, bye week basically gives another week for these guys to get uninjured, heal up their things. Let's do a little statistic overview and see how the league is doing. You can again go to league overview. There's also like weather maps. Yeah, it's crazy. Metro area, fan support, college reports. Again, we'll get into this more in the offseason episode, I guess. Here we go. Here, I hit the weather map max. Again, standings. Again, here, statistics. We can see the leading passers. Andy Dalton is What is that? 3, 6, a top 10 passer right now. Not anywhere leading the thing in touchdowns, but he's not throwing many picks. Dude, Jordan Love, 20-0. That's great. Who are some surprising quarterbacks on this list? Gardner Minshew on Vegas doing hot. Joe Flacco is doing well. Mark Banks. I don't know who that is. It's probably, yeah, one of the randomly drafted, undrafted free agents they signed over Mason Rudolph. Oh, I think someone's mowing the lawn outside. I hope you don't hear that. Oh, buddy, clamp it down. Josh Allen, is he hurt? He had to have been hurt. Yeah, he had a minor sprained wrist. Pat Mahomes, he was hurt. Jeff Driscoll was getting some starts. Jesus, man, this is wild. Let's go to rushing. Basically halfway through the season, Christian McCaffrey, DeAndre Swift, Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, Bijan Robinson. That makes sense. Receiving yards. Oh my God, Justin Jefferson in 9 games. That I will say, man, there's some receivers who absolutely break this game. Justin Jefferson is a guy who absolutely breaks his games because he's a 79 overall, which is absurd. Mike Evans, same way. He's a little bit older, but Justin Jefferson's 25 is a 79. Garrett Wilson's also super good. It's crazy. How good are these guys? Amon-Ra's doing hot. Devontae Adams as well. My lord. Jonathan Mingo's our top receiver at, 693. Defense as well. He's leading tackles. Aziel Shar. Percentage, 41%. Jeez. Yeah, Alexander Franklin, 21%. That's absolutely insane. In my personal opinion. These guys are monsters. Pass coverage. Who's leading the pass defense? Daxton Hill is doing really hot. Denzel Ward, Kyrie Covington, all 6 picks. Barnwell, 5. Nick Scott, that's our guy, doing 2 picks. That's not bad. So that's basically the statistics halfway through the season. We'll continue through our bye week, and we'll face Kansas City. There's also these cool things. Yeah, fans of Tennessee are frustrated like to see Jason Bean, the guy that we released, start at full time. So I guess that undrafted free agent ain't doing so hot as we thought. Robert Hunt is hurt. Oh, I didn't see that. So he's out for the season. That's fantastic. We love that. Activate Lyman to take his roster spot. Because they're basically just trading one offensive lineman for another offensive lineman. We still have one guard play that, and we have enough offensive line as well. So there you go. I still have them in my depth chart. So again, what's weird about offensive linemen is that they will not get out of your depth chart when you guys this. So there's sometimes where you're like, what's going on? Why can't I sim forward? It's usually to do with your offensive line. Someone is either not on your roster anymore or can't start anymore, and you need to remove them from here or ask the coordinator for the depth chart. So they're just gonna put in Chandler Zavala. Man, that guy's really going ham on his lawn. Here we go. Here we lost by 4 points. We're not doing as bad as I thought we were gonna be. I thought we were gonna be like an absolute bottom barrel team. Andy Dalton is not doing so hot. I mean, he's not the problem. He's not the problem with this team. There's a lot of problems with this team. We got Sunday. Jadeveon Clowney is probable for 2 weeks. Let's go to roster, make sure I'm not missing anybody when it comes to being hurt. Tommy Tremble. No, we're not going to start him. Start that. Lose again by 2. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm losing by 2 points. Yeah, all right. We're going to just turn it over to Bryce Young and give him some reps and see if he can do anything. There's no reason. We're 5-7. I mean, we could lore accurate NFC South, but Matthews got hurt. He's out for the season. So, again, I'll eat my words. Tommy Tremble, welcome back to the club, baby. Skill there. Boom. They have Deontay Johnson getting in there. Yeah, well, he should be not hurt anymore. So yeah, that makes sense. I consent to that change. As you can see, yeah, dude, our running game. Oh my goodness. That's really bad. We're on week 14 and our leading rusher only has 348 yards. Jeez. We lose again. Oh, Bryce Young got benched after throwing 2 picks. He got 3 blocked passes too. Dude. I'll give him one more week and we'll see. Oh, Neiman got hurt again. All right, we're just gonna put him back on. Yeah, we'll put him on IR, and then we'll just get whoever on. Jake Hansen, welcome to the squad, buddy. I think you're a real player. Neiman wasn't starting anyways, so we'll probably just start Hansen. I mean, Akeem Aquanu is doing absolutely fantastic. Nobody else is doing anything. Oh my goodness, we are collapsing. Oh, there we go. I think it was a 3-tutty game out of Bryce Young, and that helps our pick that we traded Derek Brown for. Cool. Oh, we can see we have a lot of injuries here. Amari Barno is out for the season now. Jeez, man. Jordan Matthews still out. Mingo's hurt. Thielen got hurt. Hakeem Aquanu is hurt. It looks like Barrow's the only one, so we have to sign. And then we have depth. I don't think I'm not gonna this late in the season. I'm not gonna sign someone. You can if you want to, but there's no reason for me to sign anyone right now. We'll get one of them just end of the season. Maybe he can be a decent pass defender. We'll see. Who knows? It's 2 weeks left. We're not gonna make the playoffs. No, we definitely can't make the playoffs. And we'll finish it out getting blown out by Atlanta. There we go. So that's a full season of this game so far. 2 touchdowns for Bryce Young. Bryce Young actually did. They actually were kind of on the same footing. I think Bryce Young didn't too bad when it came to the games that he did end up playing. You can see here, he did lose four out of his 5 starts that he got, but he did throw 3 touchdowns and 2, with some picks. We'll see. Not a frustrating season, but just a season that is kind of weird in comparison to how the actual Carolina Panthers went. We kind of had the inverse effect of what happened. Andy Dalton didn't do bad out the gate, and then we slowly put Young in, and then Young only won 1 game. But we'll see. Let's do a little statistical overview. Again, we can go to this little boxes over here, go to statistics. We will just sort down to the Hillcats or the Panthers, which is who we are. Go up to passing. We can see by rates, Andy Dalton was better, but he had 12 starts. And yeah, Bryce Young, I think. Wow, he got sacked 15 times. And we'll see. Rushing was, I don't even want to look at this. 459 yards out of our leading rusher. I mean, by like a committee back, that's not terrible. Jonathan Brooks got, because he wasn't hurt, got a decent amount, but he only was running for 3.14. Meh, not that good. Receiving, top receiver was Jonathan Mingo, still under 1,000 yards. Then it was Jatavian Sanders at 697 with 8 touchdowns. That's really good. Really enjoy that. Xavier Legette kind of stepped up, 639 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's not bad for a wide receiver. 2, 3. David Moore was kind of a surprise. 6 starts, 447 yards, 1 touchdown, 17.19 yards a catch. Only got 26 catches though. Same as Deontay Johnson. It was Deontay Johnson. Surprisingly, couldn't trade him, or else I would have traded his ass. Ian Thomas was all right. Let's go to returns. No, he didn't return anything. Kicking. That's really bad. Pinero, what the heck, man? You're gonna. What sucks is he's like one of the most accurate kickers I think in real life too, but he's kind of bad. Johnny Hecker was not that good. Defense, tackles, Josie Jewell led us in tackles. Jadeveon Clowney had 14 sacks, which is pretty decent, I'd say. And then we had nobody after him. Amari Barno was second. He got hurt the 15th week. Nick Thurman, decent buddy. Shy Tuttle, pass coverage. Josie Jewell, it's probably our best defender. 11 pass defenses. He's a pass rusher too. Odd. Jordan Fuller, 11 pass defenses. We had 3 picks from Jamie Robinson, 3 from Nick Scott, and then 3 from David Barnett, the undrafted guy. So that's what I'm saying. You can get some pretty shicey guys in the undrafted free agency. He 80%. Yeah, that guy's pretty good. Doesn't exist, I think, in real life, but he's pretty good. Jamie Robinson also did really well. 3 picks, 81 pass defense percentage, man. So again, those are things you might want to take notice of. So Jamie Robinson is probably going to make the roster when it comes to that. So that's overall the first season. I think we'll go through the playoffs real quick as well. Also, at the end of the season, like going to league overview here. You can see the overall ending statistics when it comes to it. Well, you can see Brock Purdy was the leader in QB rating. Darnold passing touchdowns. Jacobs ran for 1,400 yards. Justin Jefferson 1,800 yards receiving. That's crazy. 163 receptions for Amari Cooper. Whoa, that's a lot. Pass targets there, sacks. Clowney was third in sacks. Jalen Phillips had 21 and a half sacks. Whoa. Denzel Ward had 8 picks. Kyrie Elam, 8 as well. Darnold almost threw for 5K. Stafford, Baker Mayfield threw 27 interceptions. Dude, modern day Jameis Winston. Call me. San Francisco, the best offense. Vegas had the best defense. San Fran had the best rushing, which makes sense with Christian McCaffrey, who had 13 rushing touchdowns. Yeesh. Arizona did finish tie. Ooh, so we might get the first overall pick, first or second overall pick in the upcoming draft. We shall see. And when it comes to the playoffs, you can either go to, I usually just go here, or you can go to schedule, I think, as well. It'll show you the full playoff games here. You can also podcast it if you want. But we'll just go through here, wild card round on Sunday. We're not a part of it, unfortunately, but we'll see who wins. Baltimore, New York, so that's the Skyrockets or the Jets. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, Green Bay at San Fran, Chicago at Dallas. Dude, if Chicago made the playoffs last year, as if Chicago going 12-5, really, really. I think Bears fans would legitimately shit their pants if Caleb Williams did that year one. That'd be crazy. Are you joking? Oh man. Yeesh. All right. Divisional rounds are coming up today. We'll see who wins. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh beats Cincinnati. Chicago mollywop Dallas. Chicago versus San Fran. Baltimore Pittsburgh. Conference games run out. Baltimore versus Chicago. What is in Chicago's water? Jeez, they're dropping 30 points this playoffs. That's absurd. Who? What? Again, there's a week break beforehand. And we'll play the Super Bowl. And we'll see who wins the 2024 Super Bowl in this season. Chicago does. This would be absolutely insane if Caleb Williams threw 3 picks. Are you kidding me? What? DeAndre Swift. This would be absurd. This would be absolutely. Caleb Williams throws 3 picks in the Super Bowl. DeAndre Swift, of all people, runs for over 100 yards and a touchdown. Cole Kmet is the leading receiver with 87 yards. What the? Justin Tucker. Oh, oh my gosh. All right, I think I'm gonna call it there. I don't like. All said and done, this has basically been a full season of the walkthrough tutorial of how I play through this game. I hope you do enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe if you can get this far. Next episode should hopefully be off-season draft, free agency, all that sort of stuff. I'll hopefully get out quicker than this one. First one came out, but I do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope you guys really enjoy this. Any comments, criticism, please let me know as well, and bye-bye.